వల్లి గారు జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి.
శ్రీరామ్ అండి. స్వప్న గారు. జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి రావు గారు.
రావు గారు ఉన్నారు. మీరు ఒకసారి మిమ్మల్ని కో-హోస్ట్ చేస్తే ఒక్కసారి ట్రై చేయండి, షేర్ చేయగలుగుతున్నారో లేదో.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి రావు గారు. చెప్పండి. ఓకే, చేశారా?
కో-హోస్ట్ చేశానండి.
ఓకే, చేశారు కదా. ఓకే,
మనం ఒకసారి టెస్ట్ చేసిన తర్వాత అడ్మిట్ చేద్దాం.
సో యూ కెన్ సీ మై స్క్రీన్ కదా. ఒక్క నిమిషం, నేను స్క్రీన్ షేర్ మోడ్ లో పెడతాను. I mean, దీంట్లో. Okay, so you're able to see my screen, and then whenever I want, I will just stop it. Then it goes back to the
spotlight. మిమ్మల్ని స్పాట్లైట్ పెట్టేస్తాను.
Okay, so నాకు ఈ పక్కన నేను కనిపిస్తున్నాను. I mean, గ్యాలరీ జూమ్ కనిపిస్తుంది. I arranged it, so నాకు ఇటు పక్కన స్క్రీన్ కనిపిస్తుంది కనుక I'm good with that. So నేను ఎప్పుడైతే మధ్యలో అనుకున్నప్పుడు అది చేస్తాను. ఓకే,
షూర్ అండి.
ఓకే అండి.
ప్రాబబ్లీ ఒకసారి నేను మెసేజ్ పెడతాను అన్నిట్లో 15 minutes.
ఓకే,
రావు గారు ఇంకేమన్నా ఉన్నాయండి? సో టైం ఒకటి చూసుకోండి వల్లి గారు. డిస్కస్డ్ 11 వరకు మీరు మీ ప్రెజెంటేషన్ కంప్లీట్ చేసేస్తే,
in case it might go little like 5 minutes or so longer, that should be okay కదా. మైండ్ చేస్తూ ఉంటాను, టైం చూసుకుంటూ ఉంటాను, బట్ జస్ట్ ఇన్ కేస్
జస్ట్ మీరు ఏదైనా పెట్టుకోండి, లైక్ అంటే ఫోన్ లో కానీ ఎక్కడైనా.
నాకు స్క్రీన్ మీద కనిపిస్తుంది.
ఓకే, షూర్. జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి మహేష్ గారు. జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి నాగిని గారు, సింత గారు.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి సార్.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి అందరికి.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి నాగిని గారు. ఇంకో 7 minutes లో స్టార్ట్ అవుతుందండి.
జై శ్రీరామ్ స్వప్న గారు. జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి అందరికి.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి శరణ్ గారు. జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి పద్మజ గారు.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి.
జై శ్రీరామ్.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి ఆదినారాయణరావు గారు. Yeah, I request everyone to come on video అండి. In 5 minutes we are going to start. జై శ్రీరామ్ పద్మ గారు.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి.
జై శ్రీరామ్ పద్మ. జై శ్రీరామ్ స్వప్న.
జై శ్రీరామ్ లక్ష్మి గారు.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి అందరికి.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి అందరికి.
జై శ్రీరామ్
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి గారు.
గురుగారు జాయిన్ అవుతున్నారండి. సో ట్రై టు బీ ఆన్ వీడియో ఆల్ ది టైమ్. శ్రీరామ్ అండి శ్వేత గారు.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి ప్రసాద్ గారు. యా జై శ్రీరామ్.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి అందరికి.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి ప్రీతి గారు. జై శ్రీరామ్ గురువు గారు.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అమ్మా. అందరికి జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి. మా వల్లి గారు మా జై శ్రీరామ్.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి ఆచార్య గారు.
అమ్మా జై శ్రీరామ్.
గురుగారు ఇంకా 2 minutes లో స్టార్ట్
2 minutes వెయిట్ చేద్దామమ్మా.
జై శ్రీరామ్ గురువు గారు. జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి స్వప్న గారు.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి మీరా గారు.
జై శ్రీ
గురుగారు 10 అవుతుందండి. నేను యాడ్ చేస్తూ ఉంటాను. ఓపెనింగ్ ప్రైస్ స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం గురుగారు.
ఓం ఆపదాపహర్తారం దాతారం సర్వసంపదాం లోకాభిరామం శ్రీరామం భూగో భూగో నమామ్యహం. మనోజవం మారుతతుల్యవేగం జితేంద్రియం బుద్ధిమతాం వరిష్టం వాతాత్మజం మానరగౌతముఖ్యం శ్రీరామదూతం శిరసా నమామి. శ్రీ వెంకటేశ మహజే స్థితకల్పవల్లే పద్మావతి విజయతామిహ పద్మహస్తాం. శ్రీ వెంకటాఖ్యధరణి మృదుపత్యకాకామ్యా శ్రీజుకత్తనకరే కమలాకరే భూత్. సీతానక్మణ హనుమాగరుడతమేత శ్రీరామనారాయణత్వావనః ప్రార్థనాం సమర్పయామి. జై బోలో శ్రీ సీతా రామచంద్ర భగవాన్ కీ జై. పవనతుత హనుమానికి జై. మంచిదమ్మా. జై శ్రీరామ్.
రావు గారు.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి.
రావు గారు వెళ్ళి.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి. వినిపిస్తుందండి స్వప్న గారు?
ఎస్ అండి, ఇట్స్ క్లియర్ అండి.
సో అందరికీ జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి. హార్టీ వెల్కమ్ టు ఎవ్రీవన్. సో టుడే we are here to in the presence of respected Archakam Sri Padmanabhacharya garu on behalf of Bhadradri Sri Rama Temple of USA, which is an upcoming temple at Cumming, Georgia, and we are all truly blessed today as a part of this Kalpavriksham program that all of us have gathered here today. So I am taking the humble and wonderful opportunity to introduce the Atidhi speaker of today's blessed session, Srimati Valli Vadrev garu, with everyone. So Srimati Valli Vadrev garu is a happy, enthusiastic, lifelong learner about everything that she comes across in life. Having lived with her husband and son in India, Malaysia, Singapore, and in the United States, Valli garu tried to observe, learn, and practice good values and principles from various cultures. With many years of experience in academic and corporate education, Valli garu loves to teach, as she strongly believes that one can learn better through teaching. So in 2020, Valli garu has taken a break from corporate career to enjoy her son's wedding, and since April 2020, Valli garu became a part of Vishnu Chitta Gurukulam, an educational wing of Bhadradri Sri Rama Temple of USA, and thoroughly enjoying learning the wealth of knowledge with the blessings of respected Guru garu. So Valli garu is part of Nitya Nirantara blessed daily program, Ramayanam Parayanam in Telugu, and Valli garu is also a successful completed Nitya Puja student, and as well Valli garu is a Upasikshak in teaching the Nitya Puja program of Vishnu Chitta Gurukulam. So without any further delay, let me take the blissful moments to welcome Srimati Valli Vadrev garu to discuss about the blessed topic today, a divine story and a seed to Ramavataram. Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram, everybody. Matrudevo bhava, Pitrudevo bhava, Acharya Devo bhava, Atithi Devo bhava. Thank you very much, everyone, and Acharya Garu and Vishnu Chitta Gurukulam for giving me the opportunity to share whatever I learned recently. And thank you, everybody, for attending with so much of enthusiasm. And I'm really delighted to be with you and sharing what I have learned recently about Tulasi and the connection, the seed to Rama Avataram. I'm by no means an expert of this subject at all. It's my knowledge here is just a drop in the ocean. So please bear with me. And as with any other mythological or spiritual, religious or epics and stories, Puranas, there are lots of ways of looking at these, and a lot of stories will be going into further smaller stories and so on. So this is what I'm going to share with you is one of those stories that I learned. So please bear with me, and any questions that you may have and ask, you can put them in the chat, and and at the end of the session we can also talk about those questions. I may not have answers to all of those, but definitely your questions will intrigue more inspiration into me, motivation into me to find out answers and share with you either now or later. right? So I really appreciate all of you taking time to come here. So during this, as we know, I'm sure that a lot of you know this story that I'm going to share with you already. And in this process, we'll come across some interesting words like Ksheerasagar Mathanam or Kalanemi, or Vasishta, and so on. So in that process, I'll be just saying, do you know about this? Or what do you think about this? So it's in that process, when I say that, what you can do is you can put answers in that. This is just for fun and interactive, making it interactive. And any questions that you may have, we'll push it to the end, just in the interest of time. Because again, as I said, the stories can go from one to the other, like, small streams. So let's put those to the end so that we can talk about those at the end of this. And then our Acharya Garu is there, so I'm so confident and comfortable that, tons of questions that I will not be able to answer, he'll be there to answer for us, right? So with that, I would like to tell you why I'm sharing this about Tulasi now. So recently we went through Kartika Masam, and a lot of pujas that we performed there, fastings, Ekadasi, and a lot of things. And right from my childhood, I used to read Kartika Puranam. But now that I have been participating in Ramayana, it's almost like digested to me, right? So it's like my blood has that Ramayana stream. So whenever I read something, I'm seeing that connection in Rama, Sita, Ramayana, the values that it gives us, the way that we do's and don'ts that we should follow, and all these things. So when I was reading Kartika Purana this time, I was really very much interested, and I found that bits here and there saying that, oh, that was in Ramayana, this has connection with Ramayana. So here I am. I thought I want to share with everybody. Mentioned this to Acharya Garu, Rao Garu, and they said that, yeah, that's a good idea. So here I am sharing this with you. So let's get into the topic. Most of the times, most of the Puranas, we know that Suta Maharshi, Saunakadi Maharshulato, Naimisaranyamlo, like that it starts. So the three words, right? So I used to just read like that, just like that. Okay, so Suta Maharshi, Saunakadi, and and Naimisaranyam. So now I try to see what is that, what are these three pieces. So if you know about this, put them in the chat, right? So Suta Maharshi is one of the disciples of sage Vedavyasa, and Saunaka is one of the descendants of Yayati, right? So that is the lineage that Rama was into. So Saunaka was one of them, and he became a rishi and became more powerful, pious than his father and the previous generations. That is Saunaka. And then Naimisaranyam. What is this Naimisaranyam? So at one point of time, all these munis went to Brahma, and they said, can you show us a place where we all can sit and do our prayers together, so that we can share, like how we are all sitting here and sharing with each other. Those days, they also wanted to share and understand the Puranas and all those. So they asked Brahma. Brahma said, okay, fine, take this wheel. He gave them Manomaya Chakram. And he said that roll this. Wherever this stops, that is the place where you should be sitting and doing your tasks. So they rolled that, and then at one place, the wheel of that, the spindle of that dropped, and then the wheel stopped. So that spindle is called Naimi. So in the forest, so it is called Naimisharanyam, that particular place. So all these munis, they were, rishis, they were sitting there and they were doing pujas. It is said that almost 60,000 sages, we don't know the count of it, but 60,000 sages really did their tapas there. And today's place, it is called Nimsar, around approximately 100 kilometers from Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh. That is where Naimisaranya is. And it is a pilgrim place. Today also we can go there and see and really feel the power of that place. So in this place, Suta Maharshi used to come, and all these other Maharshis, they used to ask him, so can you tell us about this? Can you tell us about that? And so on. So in this particular auspicious occasion, Kartika Masam was about to begin, or it is just begun. Then when Suta Maharshi came, they all asked, so can you please talk to us about the importance of Kartika Masam, what it is? Then Suta said, yeah, that's good. I will talk about it. My Guru Vedavyasa spoke about this in Ashtadasa Puranas, in 2 of the Puranas, Padma Purana and Skanda Purana. He talked to us about Kartika Masa, so let me share that. So in this, throughout this month, we'll talk about that. So he started talking about these things. So first of all, in Skanda Purana, he said Vasishtha mentioned this to Janaka. Again, when I was reading in the past, in my previous life, I was like, okay, Vasishtha talking to Janaka. But now that I have Ramayana connection, I thought, oh, okay, Vasishtha talked to Janaka about this, right? So he told him that Vishnu once pledged that anyone who prays me and Lakshmi with Tulasi in whatever way you can, either with Tulasi dalas, leaves, or with Tulasi gandham, or Tulasi roots, whatever you can, if you pray to us, then we will bless you. And we will, you will attain Vaikuntham and Vishnu Sannidhyam. So that is what Vishnu blessed and pledged. So Vasishtha said that in whatever way you can pray, Ekadasi, Dwadasi Vratam, all these things, you will be definitely blessed. So that was good. That is the story that he taught in this Skanda Purana. So of course there were a lot of other stories also. He from the Puranam he shared with Janaka. Then in Padma Puranam, that was where Krishna and Satyabhama. Krishna and Satyabhama, once they went to Krishna went to Indra's place, and then he plucked the Parijata tree. We all know about Parijata Paharanam, right? Parijata tree. And then Parijata tree and sorry, I meant to share this with you guys. Right. So in Padma Purana, so basically he tried to explain to Satya about Parijata tree and why he brought this and so on. So then when he brought the Parijata tree, he kept it in Satya's courtyard. So Satyabhama was so humbly blessed. She felt very blessed. And she said to Krishna, you have so many wives, right? And everybody loves you and praise you. What is so special about me? Why did you put this such an auspicious Parijata Kalpavriksham in my courtyard? What did I do to get this much blessed by you? And what should I do to continue to keep this love and affection from you, right? Then Krishna said, okay, Satya, let me tell you, in your previous birth, you were named Gunavati and born to a Brahmin called Deva Sharma. And then later you were married to Chandra. So in your life, right from your childhood, you used to do follow Ekadasi, Dwadasi Vratam, and you planted Tulasi as a baby when you were a small child. Then you have taken care of Tulasi in my courtyard, right? And you really did a wonderful job like that. You were fasting, you were praying, and you were following all the religious stuff and so on. So then Kartika Masam particularly, you were following and observing all these things. So Kartika Masam, the importance, obviously, we know that it teaches us good morals about integrity, values, following Sanatana Dharma. And most of you are in our Nitya Puja program, right? Vishnu Chitta Gurukulam is teaching us how to follow Sanatana Dharma. That was one of the most important aspects that was mentioned in Kartika Masam, Kartika Purana. So he said that you were following all those things. At some point of time, your husband and wife and father went to Aranya, and they were killed, unfortunately, by a Rakshasa. So you didn't lose your interest. You continued, Satya, to pray to me and doing all these rituals. And, like at the end of it, so you reached Vaikuntham. The reason you reached Vaikuntham and attained me was you basically, you went to, you were performing all these rituals. So in that form, you attained Vaikuntham. Then you planted Tulasi in my courtyard and prayed to that every day. As a result of that, I brought this Kalpavriksham to your courtyard. That is how you became, important to me, and hence I brought this to you. And because of this, you always said one thing: Narayana yeti samarpayami. Those of you learning Nitya Puja, you can recollect this, right? At the end of it, we say, Kayena vacha manasendriyeva buddhyatmana va prakrute swabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai Narayana yeti samarpayami. So Acharya Garu taught this to us. So he said that because you said that and offered yourself and whatever you did to me, you got me as your husband. So it's really such an emotional thing, must be, for Satyabhama to hear these things, and she was extremely happy. So then, she said that this is awesome, and I'll continue with my devotion to you. So then that's good. So then these things were happening, and Suta Maharshi taught, shared this information with the rest of the rishis and so on. Good. So the rishis learned about these things, and then they said that you are talking, you explained all these things so well to us, and it was a heavy importance about Tulasi. So what is so important about Tulasi? So who is Tulasi? How come, what should we know more about Tulasi is what they asked. Then, like in Kartika Masam, as we said, Shiva, Vishnu, Ekadasi, Dwadasi, fasting, Deepams, Tulasi, Amla, Vanabhojan, importance of moral values, all these things. So of which Tulasi was prominently mentioned. So they asked about it. Then, he started telling us about this, and it is the Tulasi mantram is Yan mule sarvatirthani, yan madhye sarvadevata, yad agre sarva vedascha, Tulasi tvam namamyaham. That is the Tulasi prayer, meaning that at the bottom of Tulasi, there are all tirthas, and at the middle of Tulasi are all devatas, and at the top of it are all Vedas existing. Hence, if we pray to Tulasi, we are praying to all these three paths. And what else do we need? That is our Sanatana Dharma, and that is what gives us the moksha. And that is what gives us the particularly good values in this particular world. Think about moksha and later life, that's a different story. But what we should and should not perform in this life is what is extremely important. And that's what he talked about. So now he talks to us about two stories of Tulasi. So there are two stories of Tulasi. I'll mention about these things. Of course, there are many more as well, but these are the two stories that we can look into, right? Okay, sorry. Yeah. So the first one is about Amrita Kalasam. So he said that when Ksheerasagara Mathanam, what all do you know about Ksheerasagara Mathanam, and what avatara was used in Ksheerasagara Mathanam? You can put it in chat. So during Ksheerasagara Mathanam, first Lakshmi came and was given to Vishnu. Chandra came, Vishnu, Lakshmi came. So she's the Ksheerasagara, Ksheerasamudra Raja Tanaya, right? She is the daughter of Ksheerasagara Samudra Raja. Then came Amrita Kalasam. Then when it was given to Vishnu, he was holding that, and he really had Ananda Bhashpas, right? Tears of joy. And the tears of joy fell on the Amrita Kalasam, and that became Tulasi. That is one of the stories of Tulasi. Then the second one that we are going to know more about and has the lead into Ramayana, Ramavatara, is the Brinda story. So in this Brinda story, what happens is, so once our Indra goes to Kailasa. Okay? Once Indra goes to Kailasa, to see with all his devatas to see and pray to Shiva. Shiva at that time was sitting in Betala Rupa. So Betala Rupa means he is not in his usual form. He is with with all the ashes on him, with his head down, like something which you cannot see directly. So he was in that form. So Indra didn't recognize him, and he says, "Go and call in Shiva. Go and call Shiva." He says. So Shiva gets very upset because he was disturbing him. And then he opens. So we all know that Shiva has third eye. So he opened his third eye, and the fire started coming. So actually before that, Indra was so upset, and he took his Vajrayudham. So we know that it's his Ayudham, right? So and he struck Shiva with that. So then Shiva's neck got a bruise there, but Shiva didn't get injured, but the Vajrayudham went into ashes. So then what happened? Shiva was very upset, furious, and then he looked at Indra with his third eye. The Agni started coming. So the Agni is about to come and kill everything and turn into ashes. Then Bruhaspati, Bruhaspati? Bruhaspati is the guru of Devatas. Bruhaspati came and he prayed to Shiva. That is called Betala Shanti Mantram. So he chanted Betala Shanti Mantram and he said, please, Shiva, Shanti, please Shanti, and take back your Agni. Otherwise, it will burn the entire universe into ashes. Then Shiva got pleased with the Betala Shanti Mantram. And then he said, I cannot take back my Agni. But what I will do is, I will divert this Agni to the ocean. So he diverted it into the ocean side. So the Agni fell on the ocean side. Okay, ocean side, and at the juncture of Ganga and ocean. Then the Agni turned into a baby. So this baby boy made such a big shout, a cry, that it was deafening the entire universe. So it was so loud and clear that it was deafening the entire universe. Brahma heard this and then thought, what is happening? So who is this making this cry? Then he came down all the way to the Samudra, that place, the ocean side, saw this baby. And then he asked Samudra, who is this baby? And Samudra said, because he is in the juncture of me and Ganga, consider that this is my son. So please name him. Then Brahma was looking at the baby, and the baby was hanging to look at Brahma. Brahma has a big beard, right? So this baby was holding to Brahma's beard and was shaking, and he was not leaving. Brahma was very much trying to get rid of this baby, and he was not able to. So what happens when somebody pulls your hairs? Your eyes will be tearing, right? So eyes teared, Brahma's eyes teared, and water came. So Brahma said, this baby is so furious. So, and he made me, cry. So because water came from my ears, eyes, let us call him Jalandhara. Jala is water, so Jalandhara. And this baby will become very powerful, very knowledgeable, and he's a Shivamsa Sambhuta, right? So he came out of Shiva's Agni. So he's Shivamsa Sambhuta. He can be killed only by Lord Shiva. That's what Brahma said and went. Good. So then they were, Jalandhara was growing. He got married to Brinda. Brinda is a daughter of Kalanemi. Do you know about Kalanemi and the connection with Ramayana? There is Avalmika stories. That is the stories that were not mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana. So one of those stories talks about Kalanemi. Kalanemi is Maricha's son. You know Maricha? Maricha in Ramayana, Maricha is the one who took the shape of Maya deer and made Sita to aspire for the deer, and Rama went behind him, and Ravana came and took Sita away, and so on. So that's Kalanemi. And Kalanemi in his later life became Kamsa. He was born as Kamsa and he was killed by Krishna. So one of the names of Hari is Kalanemi Hara. That was given in Vishnu Sahasranama 69th sloka. You will see Vishnu's name by this. Okay, and there is another story also, as I said, Avalmikam. But during the Yuddham, Kalanemi takes the form of like a Rama Bhakta, pretends like that, and when Hanuma is going to bring Sanjeevani to bring Lakshmana back to life, he tries to obstruct him, and that's in the story that is there. So so then what happens? He marries to Brinda, and then one day this guy who Jalandhara he's the son of Samudra, so he is really enjoying it. And when at the time of Ksheerasagara Mathanam, what happened? So all the Rakshasas came out, and then Amrutam came out, and so on, right? So this guy, Jalandhara heard about Ksheerasagara Mathanam. He saw Rahu and then said, "Who is this guy?" And Ketu without head. He asked their guru, "Do you know who is the guru of Rakshasas?" Rakshasas guru is Sukracharya. Okay, so Sukracharya, he asked, why this guy is walking without head. Then he said, he talked about Ksheerasagara Mathanam at some point of time. Vishnu and all the devatas did Ksheerasagara Mathanam, which means that they churned the ocean with a huge hill, right? Meru Parvatam. They churned with by tying Vasuki as the rope to that, and they churned. And then that story he talked. And then Jalandhara was very upset with that, because Samudra is his dad. So he said, how can they cause so much of pain to my dad? So I have to declare a war with the devatas. So then he sent Rahu to Agrisasura, one Rakshasa, to Indra, and said, hey, look, you all took all the treasure from ocean, churned my dad, and then you took all those things. Now return all that to me, he says. Then Indra said, no, that's not possible. The reason we did was, at one point of time, your predecessor, Shankhu, Rakshasa, he took away all the Vedas and he kept those in the sea, ocean. Then, then all the Rakshasas also went and were hiding inside the ocean. So there was no other way than killing that Rakshasa. So my brother Upendra, we all know that Vishnu has another name as Upendra. Vishnu went and killed Shankhu and brought the Vedas out. That is when all these guys went inside, and Rakshasas were scared and went inside and sat in the ocean. So we had to churn to bring them up and remove Rakshasas who were performing nuisance to all the lokas. So that will happen to your family also. So don't try to come back to us and ask for treasure and all that stuff. Then obviously they're all Rakshasas. They didn't listen to them. And they were, Jalandhara was very upset. And he said, okay, then we have to do a war. So then they were doing the war, and all the Rakshasas were dying. Then Sukracharya, again the guru of Rakshasas, he was using Mruta Sanjeevani to bring back Rakshasas. Then on the Devatas side also, Devatas were getting injured. Do the Devatas get killed? No. Think about it, why? Right? We just now talked about it. So think about it, why? I'll tell you, because they had Amrutam. They don't get killed. They got injured. So their guru Brihaspati was bringing herbs from Parvatam a hill called Dronagiri, and he was curing them. Then the Rakshasas saw that, and they said, okay, this is not going to work. And Shukracharya said, let's bring the Dronagiri Parvatam and push it to the ocean. So he pushed Dronagiri to the ocean. So then what happened? Brihaspati said, okay, Devatas, now we do not have any way to cure you. I lost all the herbs. So the best way at this point of time to escape from Jalandhara is you all go and hide in Meru Parvata. Then we'll see. We'll settle things later. Then they all went and ran into Meru Parvata and took refuge there. So then in that process, what happened? Then the Devatas went to Lord Vishnu. Okay, Lord. In the meanwhile, Jalandhara took control of the entire, Deva places, Indra place, Swargam, and all that heaven. And then he has declared himself as the king, and he kept his people there, and so on. So then these devatas went to Vishnu and prayed to him, saying that please come and rescue us. So we are not able to tolerate, and we do not have a place now. We are hiding. So then Vishnu says, okay, that's fine. As usual, everybody comes to Vishnu's feet, and then he says, okay, I'll do that. He immediately gets on to Garuda, and he says, Lakshmi, bye. I'm going and taking care of Jalandhara. I'm going to fight on behalf of their devatas, and your brother Jalandhara, I'll fight with him. So think about it. How come Jalandhara is Lakshmi's brother? Think about it. Okay. So then she said, how come, how can you kill my brother? So she said, then Vishnu said, no, I'm not going to kill him because he's Shivamsa Sambhuta. He came from Shiva's Agni. And Brahma gave him a boon. Remember, Brahma said that he cannot be killed by anybody other than Shiva. So he cannot be killed by anyone other than Shiva. So I'm going to fight with him. I'm going to control him so that devatas can come back, at least get some peace. See what happens, is what he said. So now, did you think about how Lakshmi and Jalandhara are siblings? That's because Lakshmi is Kshira Samudra Raja Tanaya. So she was born to Samudra Raja, and Jalandhara is also Samudra Tanaya, Samudra's son, right? So that's how they two are siblings. So then Vishnu said that and went to fight with Jalandhara. A furious fight was going on. Really a lot of time, and like all the lokas were shaking and trembling, and lots of things happening. And neither of them was getting any victory. Then Vishnu was extremely pleased with the power and the might and the skill of Jalandhara. Then he said, okay, Jalandhara, I'm so pleased with you. Ask for something that I can do for you. When he said that, then when he said that to Jalandhara, Jalandhara said, okay, brother-in-law, please come and stay with us. Along with Lakshmi and all your parivaram, all Vishnu Ganas, come and stay with me in my ocean, at my home. Then Vishnu, obviously he gave the boon. So he said, okay, fine. He went with Lakshmi and everybody, and he goes into the ocean, and he was happily staying there. Then what happened? Jalandhara was more happy. So now Vishnu and Vishnu Ganas are with him, so nobody to fight with him, he thought. So he started going and taking control of everything. We call it Eka Chhatradipatyam. That is, under one umbrella, he was ruling everything, and he put his people there, Shumbha Nikumbha in the heaven and all these places. So then time was passing, and then Narada comes to see Vishnu. Narada is, he is always Narayana, right? He prays. So he cannot live without Narayana. So he came to see Lord Vishnu. He came to Jalandhara's place, and he said, Jalandhara, all is well, that's good. So I'm so happy to see you. And then Jalandhara says, okay, Narada Muni, where are you coming from? What lokas you visited, and all those things. Then Narada said, you know what, I'm coming from Kailasa. So Kailasa is so nice. It is flourishing with lots of good things, it has Chintamani, that is the one which gives you whatever you wish, and lots of good things. So I thought, who is as equivalently rich or more powerful than Shiva? Then I thought about you, right? So Jalandhara, you have a lot of treasure, so you are very rich too. But one thing, Kailasa, Shiva has Parvati. Goddess Parvati is so unique, so beautiful, so powerful, peaceful. Nobody comes in any comparison to her. You have Apsarasas, you have your queens and all that, but no one comes in closer to Parvati. So he says, in that way, Shiva is much richer than you. I pity you, he says. I mean, Narada is very known for igniting, right? So he wants to get things done. How can Vishnu go and stay with Jalandhara, the Rakshasas? So he wants to bring him back, which means that he has to ignite war with Jalandhara. So he ignited, and Jalandhara can be killed only by Shiva. So he has to put the thing between these two things. So he said that. And Jalandhara, he even forgot that Parvati becomes his mom, right? Jalandhara is born out of Shiva's Agni, means Parvati is his mother. So as very jealous and that type of person he is, he said, I need to have Parvati with me. So he sends Rahu to Shiva as for negotiations, and he says, Shiva, you are with ashes all the time, and you don't wear any jewels. So why do you need Parvati? You need to give her to me. Then Shiva gets very upset, and obviously he declares to kill Jalandhara. Then they were trying to see what is the best way to get rid of this guy. So he's so powerful, he cannot be killed by any weapons. Shiva said, let all of us put our powers together and form a weapon that can kill Jalandhara. Then all the devatas, they put together their weapons, not weapons, their powers and all that. Thus came Sudarshana Chakra. We all know that Sudarshana Chakra is with Vishnu all the time, right? And it is always to protect the good and kill the evil. So Vishnu used it at several places. But this is the origin of Sudarshana. Shiva initiated that, and then they all put together, and Sudarshana Chakra was born. So a furious war has started between these, and then Shiva thought about Vishnu and said to Vishnu, how can you go and stay there in the ocean along with Jalandhara? You went to fight with him. Why didn't you kill him at the first place? Then Vishnu says, that's your responsibility. You have to kill Jalandhara. I'm not the one. But I'll help you in whatever way you can. So we all know that gods see so much of work for them, right? So one person or one entity gets born and goes out of control, though having a lot of knowledge, then this is so much of work for the gods. So we just think that, okay, they are sitting there and happily Vishnu is in Kshirasagaram and sleeping on the Adisesha with Lakshmi on his side and so on. No, it's they every second they think of us and they see how to protect us. So then Vishnu said that, and then Shiva said, okay, that's good. So they all started the fight again. And then a lot of Rakshasas were being killed. And Shukra was bringing them back with Mruta Sanjeevani. Then a power, Shakti named Kritya, came from Shiva's face, and it just started eating Rakshasas. And it took Shukracharya, the teacher of the guru of Rakshasas, and took away with her. So then seeing this, Jalandhara became very furious, and he started fighting with all the devas. And then Vigneshwara, Nandishwara, Subramanya, Veerabhadra, they all came to the rescue of devatas. They also came into the war and they started fighting with Jalandhara. Then Jalandhara saw this, that they were losing ground, and he came by a ratham called Ati, and he put he hit Vinayaka with 5 banas, Nandishwara with 9, and Veerabhadra with 11 banas, and they all fainted. So that furious the war was going on. And our Vigneshwara and Subramanya, Nandishwara are so close. They are his pranas for Shiva. He loves them so much, so he will not tolerate seeing them fainted. So he came himself to fight with Jalandhara, and they were really fighting a lot, and there was no end to that. They were not able to find how to kill Jalandhara. Then what happens? So generally, when we our officials, right, our law and order also, and they were trying to think about Bin Laden, right? So he was really very knowledgeable in his own religious way, but he became out of control. He was really causing a lot of nuisance to the rest of the world. Then law and order officials, they were trying to see all the things that they can do to capture him. And in that process, they might have approached some people without them knowing why they are approaching, to get more information about him, and finding the loopholes basically to attack and bring that demon to control, right? So in that process, here also, because they were not able to bring him under control, they tried to find out what is the reason. Why is this? We are not able to kill this demon. Then they found that who is the wife of Jalandhara? Brinda, right? We talked about that. Brinda, daughter of Kalanemi, is the wife of Jalandhara. They noticed that Brinda is so affectionate and fond of her husband. We call Pativrata, and she is very pious. So she prays to all the she performs all the rituals very nicely and so on. So unless they try to stop her a little bit for a while and trick her, it's not going to happen to kill Jalandhara. So in the interest of, obviously it's a lot of concern, right? So the gods simply cannot go and trick everybody and cheat everybody and things like that. So they had to consider what is the best. Then they thought that, okay, we have to address this through Brinda. Then what happened? Then they went to, they all went to Vishnu. Again, anything people, the troubles caused, and then everybody goes to Vishnu and says, please, please rescue us. So they went to Vishnu and they said, please rescue. Then Vishnu, what he did, he went like a sage, like a muni, to Brinda. And Brinda was so worried. She didn't find her husband for a long time. He was in the war. So she was so concerned, and she asked, Munishwara, how is my husband? What happened to him? Then Munishwara smiled, and he created two Vanaras, right? Two Vanaras, monkey gods. And then he said to them, he gave a signal to them. Then the two Vanaras brought the dead body parts of Jalandhara. Jalandhara is not yet killed, but it's a dummy parts of Jalandhara body parts they brought and have shown Brinda. Then Brinda was so upset. So she was so sad seeing her husband's body parts, thinking that he was dead. And then she said to the Munishwara, please do something, bring my husband back to life. Then what he did, he said, fine. He disappeared, and the body parts all united, came together, and that became a dummy Jalandhara. Okay. So seeing that, Brinda thought that, okay, my husband came back, and she was so happy. But just in a bit, she was able to make up that this is dummy. This is not a real Jalandhara. So she was really upset. She was so sad. She was so upset. Generally what happens when we are upset, we are not happy. We don't try to look into the logic. What happened? Why this happened? Is this for good? And things like that. We immediately curse the other person. You did this to me. You are not good. So this will happen to you. That will happen to you. So like that, we will be starting cursing people. Same thing she also did. She's emotional. She felt very emotional. She felt very sad. And then she said, she came to know that Muni is none other than Vishnu, who tricked into this. And then she said, Munishwara, Lord Vishnu, you didn't do it right. You caused pain to me, basically. So I'm cursing you. The two Vanaras you created, who brought my husband's body parts and has shown me that this is your husband, they too will become Rakshasas and will capture your wife. They'll kidnap your wife. Okay. And then they will be, they'll kidnap your wife and they will take away. So you will be basically then going around in the forest along with your Adisesha as your brother. You will be going around the forest and searching for your wife and will be very worried. And you, the same Vanaras whom you created, that Vanara Jati will be the one whom you have to take help from to find your wife Sita. So that is what she said as a curse. Sorry, just a second. Yeah, so she cursed him, saying that you will be the Vanaras will be taking away your wife, and you will be searching along with your Adisesha as your servant, becomes your brother, and then you will take the same help of, you have to take the help of Vanaras to be able to find your wife, and that is how you will be separated for a bit from your wife. That's how she cursed Vishnu, and that is the seed for Ramavataram. So in the meanwhile, what happened? In the meanwhile, Jalandhara is yet to be killed, right? So the Jalandhara is yet to be killed. So then Jalandhara was very furious, and he was trying to see how to win over Shiva. So he created a Maya Gauri, and he tied Maya Gauri to a Radham, a chariot, and the Shumbha Nishumbha, the two Rakshasas, they were like pretending killing that Maya Gauri. They were doing all in front of Lord Shiva. He became so senseless. He was shocked, in deep shock, to see Gauri being killed. Gauri is his wife, Parvati. So he gets so upset, and but he was completely senseless. He was not doing anything. He just was just staring at it. Then Jalandhara took that opportunity and he hit some banas, arrows at Shiva, in his stomach, in his chest, everywhere. Even then Shiva was not moving. Then what happened? Then Brahma came and said, Shiva, that is Maya Gauri. It's not your real wife. So don't get tricked by Jalandhara. He mentioned that. Then Shiva came into senses. He got very furious, and then he immediately took the Sudarshana Chakra and killed Jalandhara with that. So that's how Jalandhara was killed. And Jalandhara, when he was at that time, he prayed to because he is the son of Shiva, came from Shiva, so his tejas went back, his life went back into Shiva. And at that time, Jalandhara's body parts fell on the ground, and Jalandhara prayed that wherever his body parts fell, let that place be flourished with tirthas, lot of tirthas, and let all devatas visit that place, and let it become a pilgrimage so that people can go and worship there. So the body parts where Jalandhara's body parts fell is today, it is called Kangra or Kangada, and it is in Himachal Pradesh. That is a pilgrim place now, and it is flourishing with 64 or more tirthas and lots of devatas, temples in that place that we can see. And one of the most important is Jalandhara being so powerful, so strong, his body parts became like diamond, so strong. Diamond is one of the strongest minerals that we all know. So Vajram, it is, so the body parts fell on the ground, and that place, that goddess of that place is called Vajreshwari Devi. So that we can go and visit that place today. It's in Himachal Pradesh. So now Jalandhara was killed. So now everything is in peace. Now what else? So Vishnu is so upset, right? Because of this Brinda story. And he was so sad. So he was like wandering in the forest there, where Brinda turned into ashes. So she sacrificed and she turned into ashes. So he was just, smearing all the ashes on him. He was so, sad, and he's not coming back to Vaikuntham. This is not going to work. We all need Vishnu back in here. So the devatas requested Shiva, please tell us how to bring back Vishnu to Vaikuntham. Then Shiva says, go and talk to Parashakti. Okay, so Parashakti, the Maya, Mahamaya, Parashakti, go and talk to Mahamaya, he says. So then all the devatas go to Mahamaya. Mahamaya says, look, I am a combination of three gunas from three murtis. The three murtis are Mugurammalu, we call. They are Parvati, Lakshmi, and Saraswati. So I'm basically the incarnation of those three. So I'm only a Mahamaya. So you go and pray to these three murtis and request them to help you to bring Vishnu back. Then all devatas went there and then they prayed to these Mahalakshmi, Saraswati, and Parvati. Then, as usual, the three mothers are always so peaceful, affectionate of their bhaktas. And they said, okay, good, let's try to do something. The three gave three types of seeds, okay, the three types of bijas, seeds. And they said, go, take these seeds and sprinkle wherever Vishnu is wandering in the forest. So the devatas took those seeds and they sprinkled on the, in that place where Vishnu was there. The seeds that Parvati gave, those have sattva guna, soft nature. Those became tulasi. They turned into tulasi plant. The seeds that Saraswati gave, those have rajoguna, and those turned into usiri or amla or dhatri, we call those plants or trees. And the seeds that Lakshmi gave, the ones which Saraswati gave have tamoguna, and they became usiri. And the seeds that Lakshmi gave have rajoguna, and they became malati, or they are also called as Burberry. And I couldn't really find exactly what it is in Telugu, but one type of leaf, or it could be bougainvillea, which is not a plant and flowers that are not appropriate for prayers. Basically, those have medicinal values and all, but not for Lord Vishnu. So that is how the three seeds became these three types of plants, and Vishnu was surrounded by these. And because of the power and the medicinal values and the peace, spiritual values these have, they healed Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, and Vishnu became better. He felt better, and he started wearing tulasi as his haram, and he went to Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha to stay with Mahalakshmi and along with all his other ganas, right? So yeah, so that is how the tulasi plant came into existence. That is the story of tulasi, and it is so powerful that it healed Vishnu. So obviously it has a lot of good stuff for us as well. And what are some things that you can think of that tulasi brings to us as good, as good things? Whenever I say about tulasi, what comes to my mind is a nice tulasi mata. They do Kshirabdi Dwadasi time. They do tulasi kalyanam. So that comes to my mind. And then the tulasi plant and the tulasi structure, tulasi kota, right? None of the plant pots have this type of structure. This has a very unique structure. It has 4 sides. There is a small place to put lamp to that. Then it has lotus on top of it. It gets decorated with rangolis, and it is kept in the either in the backyard or in very old days, as you can see in one of the pictures in the rightmost corner there, in a courtyard in the middle of the house. So mother goes there and decorates it and puts lights, prays every day with that, and takes the pradakshina, going around. All these things, the very nice and spiritual things that happen, right? And then the smell of tulasi. The smell of tulasi is so awesome, and it's so peaceful and meditative, right? So all these things come to our mind. And what else come to our mind? It's a house protector, spiritual, fresh air, And then it's an antioxidant for renal stone cure, headaches, migraines, bronchitis, asthma, influenza, cough, and so on. A fresh breath used in mouthwashes, protects inside out. It's used as herbal, skincare, tea, lots of things, right? And then there are basically 3 types of tulasi that we see. One is Rama or Lakshmi tulasi. It's green in color, and this is the most widely used and popular. And then Krishna or Shyama tulasi that has purple stems and purplish leaves. And then the third is Vana tulasi or wild tulasi. That's the one which grows like a big one. So now we know that it's called Brindavana, right? So Vana tulasi and Brinda became, because of Brinda, the tulasi plants came into existence. So it's all Brindavana, and it's so affectionate to Lord Vishnu. And for any prayers we use tulasi, and even for people in their last final stage, they put tulasi water. That is because it's so auspicious and it gives them the Vaikuntha Prapti, right? There are a few don'ts as well. Again, these are all according to the internet and things like that, not verified by me, so I'm just sharing with you. You should not pluck leaves just like that, like with any other tree. So you really have to chant, because tulasi is so spiritual. So it's like mother to us, right? Because of all that we talked about. So you have to chant Aparadha Stotram while plucking leaves from tulasi. You should not uproot the tree. Even if the tree goes down, like in here in the US, in winter, it goes down, right? It withers. So then you shouldn't simply be plucking it. You should take it and put it in, chanting some mantra and put it in water. And you should not be throwing bad water or garbage around tulasi plants, okay? And they also say that this is not suitable for pregnant women, may not be good for diabetic patients, may impact fertility, may interfere with blood thinning medication. It may cause damage to liver and may stain your teeth. I mean, anything in excess is not good, right, for us to intake. So that is how these things are talked about. So that is what we talked about in in this tulasi, how it came and then how it became the seed for Ramavatara, and we all learn about Ramayana. Now you think about it, I want to say something. In this, we talked about how Ekadasi, Dwadasi are important in Kartika Masa. Through Vishnu Chitta Gurukulam, we all are doing Ekadasi bhajans, right? In the past 6 months, we have started this. Such a divine opportunity, really, we all are having. And it's a blessed opportunity. We all sing bhajan on Ekadasi. Acharya Garu does the Sankalpam in the morning. And it's, a family of us together doing Ekadasi bhajan. I feel blessed that I'm doing Ekadasi bhajans. Then Satyabhama said, Narayana iti samarpayami. And then, because of that, we all, she became wife of Narayana, Lord Vishnu. He takes care of her forever. So through Nitya Puja, the slokam that I learned and chanting every day, now I know the importance of that. It's not just chanting by mouth and, just saying the words, but now I understand why and what kind of impact it has on me in the long run, and what it is doing, and that the most important is that Lord is listening to me chanting this every day. Whether I'm thinking of that or not, he's listening to me chanting this, and he will protect me and he'll take care of me from evils. We all know that this COVID thing is really making a lot of people suffer. So by God's grace, we all chant and we all do the Nitya Puja and take care of, be taken care of by the God. And then Ramayana, obviously, as I said, I could not have seen the connection to Ramayana, paid attention to Ramayana, Kalanemi, and Vasishtha talking about these Puranas to Janaka, all these things had I not been part of the Ramayana Parayana. So again, my thousands of namaskarams to Acharya Garu and Vishnu Chitta Gurukulam to let me be part of the Ramayana Parayanam, and giving me this opportunity where I could see the connection in everything in my life to Ramayana. And in the last month session, Srimati Padma Garu, she talked about Sundarakanda, the way of life, right? So she shared lots of good things with us in that session. And again, that is also coming from Ramayana. Once she started reading Ramayana and seeing this, she saw the way of life connected to Sundarakanda and shared lots of good things with us. So so we shouldn't be just thinking that, oh, that's spiritual, that's for 50 plus people, or that is for somebody who do not have any other work to do. No, that's not the case. You as kids, and you as teenagers, you as young adults, and you as a senior, who has a lot of children at your home to teach about, it is for everybody, and every one of us have to follow our Sanatana Dharma, from where lots of values come, and knowingly or unknowingly, we'll be doing only the right things when we learn about these things. So that is what I really want to share with you all today. And please forgive me for any and every mistake that I made in talking about these things. Again, as I said, my knowledge here is a very tiny drop in the ocean. And once again, I feel blessed for this opportunity, Acharya Garu. And thank you very much. Jai Sri Ram. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Ayodhyapura Netaram Mithilapura Nayikam Raghavanam Alankaram Vaidehanam Alankriyam. Jai Sri Ram. Jai Hanuman.
Yeah, చాలా సంతోషమ్మా వల్లి గారు. సో ఇట్స్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ఎఫర్ట్ అండ్ రీసెర్చ్. సో సనాతన ధర్మం and the importance of Tulsi and how it blessed all the humanity in the form of Tulsi. So excellent amma, chala santoshama. Lord bless you and Lord with you amma. Om Mangaleriyam Madormagam Tapeta Pashyata Sobhahatmiparetanam Dheergata Mangalya Vrudrattum Anagautam Patyoh Kumar Kumaryaha Mata Piduh Bhadratara Sri Sitaramachandasva Paripurna Kapakatakshaditirastu. Yeah, Panchitama. Jai Shri Ram.
Guru Garu will have we'll open the question and answer session for the next 15 minutes and day.
Sure.
So if anyone has any questions for Valli Garu, please raise your hand. Okay.
I have a question, Auntie.
Yeah.
Why did they give Sudarshana Chakra to Vishnu?
Wonderful question. So I think I'll try. Okay, I'll try to tell you. So Shiva, after taking care of Jalandhara with this, so basically the all the devatas, for all the remaining demons and all, they were going to Vishnu for taking care of those Rakshasas. And as we know, Vishnu has taken Dashavataras, right? So he has taken incarnation as 10 avatars to kill demons in various stages, like Shishupala in the Dwapara Yuga, right? When Krishna was born. At that time, as he was born as Krishna, Shishupala was one of the demons whom Vishnu is supposed to be killed. So all the other demons that came later stages, they were all supposed to be killed by Lord Vishnu. So that is how Shiva said that, okay, Lord Vishnu, now you take it and you take care of it, because this is very powerful and this is to keep the dharma in place. So that's how I think it was given to Lord Vishnu. And Krishna liked it very much. So that is how he gave it to Lord Krishna, Vishnu.
Thank you, Auntie.
Yeah. Anyone has any other questions, Andy?
So questions, nobody have questions, I think. So anybody, is there anybody else?
In the chat, they say Ekadasi
Yeah,
chant.
I'll share the details, Andy. Valli garu. Swapna garu, I'll share that details to you, Andy.
Yeah, 1 minute, ma. So here, so during Nitya Puja and also in temples, so we use Tulsi in the Tirtham. So some can anybody here, so particularly kids, so can you know why the Tulsi plant or Tulsi leaves we are using in Tirtham? Do you know that? Anybody know that? So even elders? Yeah, okay. So we use, we keep chanting one slokam. Sharire jajjari bhute vyadigraste kalebare aushadhanjan habitogyam vaidyo narayano harihi. So as Valli garu said, so at the base, so what it's have all the Tirthams. Tirtham in the sense all the holy waters. So you take, for example, rivers. So all the river waters will be stored at its base, the leaves base, and at the middle. So there are so many devatas. All the devatas are going to stay there, and at the end, there are all the Vedas are stored in that. See, the Tirthams, the combination of Tirthams makes very auspicious, and also it is what we say in Ayurvedam. So it is very, they use without oil, without Tulsi. So majority of the Ayurvedam is depending upon Tulsi. So it is having very medicinal values. So that's why, so we put a leaf in that and take Tirtham. So that blesses, and also it says, Vaidyo Narayano Harihi. It acts as a doctor and it removes all the diseases what we have. That's it says. So that's why it's very powerful, and we add one Tulsi leaf in that. The Tulsi, we call that as Tulsi Tirtha. And also each and everybody, all of us having once upon a time, each and every house were having Tulsi plant at their premises in front of their houses. Since it is having all the devatas, all the Vedas, all the Tirthams, it was acting as what is this protector of the whole house. So just the smell, so it was spreading, and so no evil forces of any type were able to reach at the places. That's why we have to cultivate it, and we have to grow that, and we have to keep that, and we consider that as Sakshat, so Mahalakshmi's incarnation. So that's how Tulsi plant. So evarki questions లేదు కాబట్టి nobody have questions here. Good ma.
Yeah, and just one point, Guru garu. Oh, Lakshmi garu ki question undandi. Lakshmi garu, go ahead, Andy.
Yes, Sriram Guru garu. Why can we keep inside the house Tulsi plant, Guru garu? Like we have winter and everything, we'll put inside. Like they cannot survive outside. So keeping inside, is it good or bad? I'm keeping.
కాదు మనం తులసి ప్లాంట్ ఎక్కడైనా పెట్టుకోవచ్చు, దేవుడి దగ్గర కూడా పెట్టుకోవచ్చు. We can keep even in
we have one in.
So why we are keeping out in the sense, because it is getting much sunlight కావచ్చు, అవన్నీ కూడా బాగా పెరుగుతుంది అనే ఒక ఉద్దేశంతో మనకి ఎక్కడైనా ఎనీ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ అవర్ హౌస్ అమ్మా, ఈవెన్ ఇన్సైడ్ అవుట్ సైడ్ డజంట్ మ్యాటర్. సో కీపింగ్ తులసి ఇస్ వెరీ ఆస్పిషియస్ అండ్ ఇట్స్ ప్రొటెక్టర్ ఫర్ హౌస్ అమ్మా. ఎక్కడైనా పెట్టుకోవచ్చు, నో క్వశ్చన్ ఐదర్ ఇన్సైడ్ ఆర్ అవుట్స్, బికాస్ నో అదర్ వే యూ హ్యావ్ టు కీప్ ఇన్సైడ్ ఇన్ వింటర్స్. సో ఇట్ వోంట్ సస్టైన్ అవుట్ సైడ్. సో ఇండియాలో మనం బయట ఎందుకు పెడతామంటే బాగా సన్లైట్ కి ఎక్స్పోజ్ అవుతుంది, బాగా చెట్టు బాగా వృద్ధి అవుతుంది అని చెప్పి మనం బయట పెడతాం. సో దట్ ఇస్ ద రీజన్. సో మనం తులసి ఇట్లా పెట్టుకునేది చాలా శ్రేష్టము, చాలా మంచిది కూడా అమ్మా. సో ఆల్వేస్ కీపింగ్ తులసి ఇన్ హౌసెస్ అంటే మనకి ఎప్పుడు శ్రేయస్కరమైనటువంటిది. ఆ తులసి మనకి.
And I want to say one thing. Lakshmi Devi garu and Adi Narayan Rao garu are blessed to have Tulasi, Dhatri both in their house. Tulasi and Usiri, Amla trees in their house. So much of, talking about today's topic, what else do you need? And you are so blessed to have those two.
That wild tulsi also we have. The third one also.
Excellent, Amma. Excellent, Amma.
Aruna gariki question undanడి.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Jai Sri Ram Guru Garu, Jai Sri Ram andariki. Just to add, what Guru Garu has just mentioned. I'm just recollecting. Even while offering Naivedyam to God also, we place a small tulsi leaf on top of it and then we offer, right? So, I'm just like sharing that, Guru Garu, along with, the Tirtham also you have mentioned, right?
Right, Amma. Excellent, Amma. Chala manchi vicharam chepparu. Even right. If we are offering Naivedyam for the Lord, we put tulsi leaf in that. So just that is it's a medicinal value, and it keeps all the small viruses away from that. That is smell, So even spraying water on tulsi, Naivedyam before offering, so to keep all the small minute things away from the Naivedyam, and chanting Gayatri Mantram as so to make that Naivedyam as Amrutam, we imagining that just by chanting that, so the Naivedyam will be purified. So adding the tulsi leaf in that, making very auspicious to offer for the Lord. Excellent.
Yeah, Preeti gariki question. Yeah, Preeti garu, go ahead.
Jai Sri Ram andi Guru Garu, Jai Sri Ram Valli Garu. వినిపిస్తుందా అండి?
Yeah, వినిపిస్తుందండి Preeti garu.
Sorry. అంటే Valli Garu, you said like Sattva, Rajo and Tamo Guna. About can you please make us clear about those gunas, Valli Garu? I want to know more about that.
Yes, I'm trying to try my best, and again, Tamoguna is the one which is more with sensual things. That is, you want to eat something, or you want to, feel something. You want to have. So basically, it's all sensual, pleasure of having for your body. Right, that type of things are tamogunas, to my knowledge. Rajogunas are the ones which are like you want to have, kind of like you want to have this because somebody else has. So I'm kind of jealousy or competitiveness. These can be, not necessarily, not all these are bad, right? So in a good sense. And Sattva Guna is the soft nature of it. So your tendency for spirituality and these kind of things. So that is how I understood that. Acharya garu meeru.
Amma, definitely that's right, Amma. Very simple. I will give an example. Take for an example a vegetable. So eating raw is Sattva Gunam, raw vegetable. So boiled, so is Tamo Gunam. And by adding some salt, the chilies, everything, and eating is Rajo Gunam. So just very simple. So the food what we take, so so it's based on the food what we take. The gunam, the quality. So rajo, tamo, so it's sattva gunam, rajo gunam, tamo gunam, and sattva gunam. So very simple, Amma. So did you get it, Amma?
So basically what devatas, three devatas are saying here is to get a balance between all those gunas, Valli Garu?
Yeah, so during Kartika Masam, so that when we go for Vanabhojanam and under Usiri tree, right? And Usiri has the Rajo Tamogunam, okay? And then Tulasi Vanam, so you try to go and stay in Tulasi Vanam, so that gives you the Sattvika Gunas. So basically what they are saying is, by using these together, you have to balance. As I said, there is nothing wrong with having a Rajoguna. You have to have the competitiveness. You have to have the zeal for winning. So these kind of qualities are required, but they need to be in balance. Otherwise, you will become Jalandhara, right? What they are teaching us is through these 3 seeds, types of seeds and plants, and being in presence of them, you'll be balancing your qualities and always keep your head on the shoulders. And that's what, and be happy with what you have and try to achieve more, compete with yourself and try to achieve with more, rather than here Jalandhara tried to go and see, because Shiva has Parvati, I need to have Parvati. No, that's not how it should be. Do you need it? Do you deserve it? That's what everybody has to think through. And that's what these herbs help us to keep us in check and balance.
Thank you so much, Valli garu. Thank you so much, Guru garu.
రమ్మ గారు క్వశ్చన్ ఉందండి, నాకు రేస్ చేసినట్టున్నారు.
రమా గారమ్మా, రమాదేవి గారమ్మా ఉన్నారా?
ఉన్నాను గురువు గారు.
అమ్మా
ఏం లేదు స్వప్న గారు, నాకు లైక్ అది ప్లకింగ్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఒక శ్లోకం చెప్పాలి అన్నారు కదా, అదేమన్నా శ్లోకం షేర్ చేస్తారా అని. నాకు తెలియదు, నేను మామూలుగా దండం పెట్టుకొని ప్లక్ చేస్తాను, శ్లోకం అది తెలియదు అని అడిగాను.
అమ్మా అది జస్ట్ దేవునికి దండం పెట్టుకుంటే చాలమ్మా.
ఓకే.
ఆ శ్లోకం బదులు మనం ఏంటంటే స్వామిని స్మరిస్తూ దండం పెట్టుకొని మనము ప్లగ్ చేయొచ్చమ్మా.
అలానే చేస్తాను. ఎప్పుడంటే ఇంకేదైనా శ్లోకం ఉంటుందో ఏమో అని.
అది ఈవెన్ దట్స్ ఆల్సో సజెస్టెడ్ అమ్మా. సో మనము ఒక స్వామిని స్మరిస్తూ తులసిని ప్లగ్ చేయొచ్చు.
అంతేనండి. సో ఒకటి చెప్పినది ఏంటంటే ఓం శ్రీ తులసి ధాత్రి సమేత కార్తీక దామోదరాయ నమః అని చెప్పి దామోదరుడికి అర్పిస్తారు అని చెప్పారు. సో నేను అనుకున్నాను, ఓకే అదేనా చెప్పుకోవచ్చు, లేకపోతే నేను దేవుడు అమ్మవారి పేరు తలుచుకుని క్షమించమ్మా, నేను స్వామి పూజ కోసం నిన్ను తీసుకెళ్తున్నాను అని అంటే చాలు. ఇంకా
అంతే, పూజకే నేను చిన్నగా ఇష్టం ఉండదు నాకు తెంపడం, కానీ ఓన్లీ స్వామి దగ్గర పెట్టడానికని చిన్నగా ప్లక్ చేస్తాను.
ఇక్కడ నో కన్ఫ్యూజన్ అమ్మా, దయచేసి కన్ఫ్యూజన్ కాకండి. ఎందుకంటే అయ్యో నేను ఇన్ని రోజులు శ్లోకం చెప్పుకోలేదే, నేను ప్లక్ చేసేస్తున్నాను అనేది. డోంట్ ఫీల్ లైక్ దట్. ఇట్ ఈస్ పర్ఫెక్ట్లీ ఆల్ రైట్. స్వామిని స్మరిస్తూ తులసి కట్ చేసేది అది మనకి శాస్త్రాలు చెప్పింది కాబట్టి. సో డోంట్ వరీ అబౌట్ దట్ శ్లోకం అమ్మా. డోంట్ వరీ, జస్ట్ మనం స్వామిని స్మరిస్తూ తులసి పెరుకోవచ్చు.
ఓకే గురువు గారు, థాంక్యూ.
అంటే అది సంస్కృతంలో చెప్తేనే అది అమ్మవారికి అర్థం అవుతుంది. మనం తెలుగులో మనసులో చెప్పుకున్నా చాలు. అది అంచేత అది అంటే పెద్దవాళ్ళు చెప్పినది, అది అక్కడ చెప్పించేంత. అంటే పిల్లలకి తెలియాలి కదా ఇలాంటివి. మనం ఇది మిగతా చెట్ల కంటే మిగతా ప్లాంట్స్ కి డిఫరెంట్ ఇది. అందువల్ల నువ్వు ఇది తీసుకెళ్తున్నది అండ్ ఎప్పుడు కోస్తావు అంటే ఎప్పుడు పడితే అప్పుడు ఇలా తెంపేయడానికి కాదు, నువ్వు తెంపుకునేది అమ్మవారికి అయితే స్వామివారికి పూజకి. సో అది తెలుసుకోవడం అది ఇంపార్టెంట్.
మనము ఒక నెక్స్ట్ లెవెల్లో తులసి గురించి మనం మాట్లాడుకుందాం ఇంకొకసారి అమ్మా నిత్య పూజలో. ఎందుకంటే మనం తులసి గురించి మనం వాడుతున్నాం కాబట్టి ఒకసారి మనం దాన్ని చెప్పుకుందాము. ఫర్ నౌ జస్ట్ మీరు స్వామిని దండం పెట్టుకొని పెరుకోవచ్చు.
ఇంకా ఎనీవన్ హ్యాస్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అండి? స్వప్న గారు, మీరు ఇందా క్వశ్చన్ వీడియో చాట్ లో పెట్టారు మంత్రం అని. సో యువర్ క్వశ్చన్ ఇస్ క్లియర్ నౌ కదండి?
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి, థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్.
ఓకే, జ్యోతి గారి స్క్రీన్ లో హ్యాండ్ రైజ్ అయింది. నాన్న గో హెడ్.
జై శ్రీరామ్ గురు గారు, సాత్విక గుణం అంటే సాఫ్ట్ కదా, సో బాయిల్ చేసిన వెజిటబుల్ ని సాఫ్ట్ గా అనుకుంటారా?
నాన్న ఇదేంటంటే మనకి ఫుడ్, మనం తీసుకునే ఫుడ్ మన గుణాలు ఇదైతుందన్న. సో మనకి ఇప్పుడు మనకి సాఫ్ట్ గా ఉండాలి అంటే సో ఇట్ డిపెండ్స్ అపాన్ వాట్ ది ఫుడ్ వి టేక్ అన్నట్టు మన శాస్త్రాలు. ఇప్పుడు ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు ఏకాదశి ఉపవాసాలు అవి ఇవి చేసేటప్పుడు ఇవన్నీ ఏంటంటే మనకి ఒక మంచి గుణాలు మనమే వృద్ధి చేసుకోవాలనేటువంటి. సో మంచి గుణాలు ఎందుకు అంటే వి హ్యావ్ టు కీప్ అవర్ బాడీ హెల్తీ. ఫస్ట్ నెంబర్ 1. సో ఇదేంటంటే వి హ్యావ్ 3 డిఫరెంట్ ఆప్షన్స్ పెట్టారు మనకి. ఈ 3 గుణాలతో ఉండేటువంటిది ఏంటంటే మనము మెజారిటీ మనము సత్వగుణంతో ఉండాలి అని చెప్పింది మనకు సజెస్ట్ చేస్తారు. సత్వగుణంలో ఉండాలి అంటే మనం ఎలా మనము తీసుకోవాలి. ఇప్పుడు టేక్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ రా వెజిటబుల్స్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇట్ టేక్స్ just 4 hours to digest అన్న. 4 గంటలే కావాల్సి పడుతుంది మనకి డైజెషన్ కి. సో దాన్ని ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ గా చెప్తారు. ఇది దిస్ ఈస్ రజో, ఇది సత్వగుణం అని. సో మన సపోజ్ ఇఫ్ ఇట్ గెట్స్ డైజెస్టెడ్ ఇట్ మే టేక్ 8 to 10 hours. సో మనకి అది అని చెప్తారు మనకి. అంటే ఇట్ టేక్ సమ్ మోర్ టైమ్, అండ్ దట్ మీన్స్ ది ఫుడ్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు రిమైన్ ఇన్ అవర్ బాడీ, డ్యూరేషన్ ఈస్ మోర్. Suppose if we add some more things to that and we eat, it may take some more time. So ante ఏంటంటే రజోగుణము సత్వగుణం అనేటువంటిది టాప్ ప్రియారిటీ, ప్రియారిటైజ్డ్. సో దాని ప్రియారిటీకి ఎక్కువ పెట్టారు. ఎందుకంటే ఇట్ టేక్స్ లెస్ టైమ్ అండ్ సో వాట్ ఎవర్ we take food, so duration is less and it comes out digested food and our body will be healthy. So that is compared to sattva gunam. And so this food, digested food, it takes some more time to get digested and come out. That means it is staying with our body. You see, the more the time it be in our body, so that health wise, so it's manaki koncham health gurinchi the first prioritize ఏం చేశారు, సత్వగుణ అని చెప్పారు కాబట్టి అలా చెప్పారు. సో నంబర్ ఇంకొకటి మనం యాడ్ చేసి ఇవన్నీ చేసినా కానీ సో ఇట్ మే సమ్ మోర్ టైమ్ అని. సో అందుకోసం ఏంటంటే గుణాలని చెప్పేదానికి దట్స్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ అన్న. మనం బాయిల్డ్ ఫుడ్డే మనం తీసుకుంటాం, ఇవన్నీ కూడా మనం యాడ్ చేస్తాం. ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈజ్ అన్నీ మనకు కావాల్సిండేది మనకి. సో ఇట్స్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ టు అస్. బట్ ఓన్లీ థింగ్ సో హెల్త్ వైజ్ సో ఒక దీన్ని ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ ఇస్తూ ఇది తమో గుణం, ఇది రజో, ఇది సత్వగుణంతో ఉండేటువంటిది సో రా ఫుడ్, సో తమో గుణంతో ఉండేటిది బాయిల్డ్ ఫుడ్, ఇంకా కొన్ని యాడ్ చేసేవన్నీ రజోగుణంతో ఉండేటువంటిది. అర్థమైందా? అంటే మనకి హెల్త్ సో ఫస్ట్ ఆప్షన్ ఈజ్ బెస్ట్, సెకండ్ ఆప్షన్ ఈజ్ సో బెటర్, థర్డ్ ఆప్షన్ ఈజ్ గుడ్, ఎనీథింగ్ ఈజ్ నాట్ బ్యాడ్. సో 3 కంపేర్ చేసిన బ్యాడ్ అనేది కాదు, జస్ట్ బ్యాలెన్స్ అవర్ బాడీ అండ్ కీప్ టువర్డ్స్ గుడ్ హెల్త్. సత్వగుణం వైపు మనము సో వీ హ్యావ్ టు లుక్ అండ్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు ప్రొసీడ్ సత్వగుణం అని. సో సత్వగుణంలో అంటే ఇలాంటి దీని నుంచి మనం వస్తుంది అని చెప్పేది అంతే. Did you get it, Nanna?
అర్థమైంది.
I tried to say, Nanna. And also I think to add to that, Acharya garu enta chakkaga cheppina daniki inka addition ante like the want of having the thought of wanting something better, right? So it will be good enough if you eat the raw vegetables, but then you want to have a better taste. So that's you're boiling it to the next level. So that's the tamoguna. And then you want it really much nicer. So you are adding more spices to that. So what is enough is a raw vegetable and you are wanting more, wanting better, right? So that is how the gunas are proceeding from what is enough to be sattva guna to what is okay, tamoguna, and then adding to them. That's a very good example.
Yeah, excellent. బాగా చెప్పారు ఇది. Yes. సో వాంటింగ్ అనేది మన టేస్ట్ వాంటింగ్ అంటాం కదమ్మా. సో ది మోర్ వి ప్రిఫర్ ది టేస్ట్, సో అక్కడ మనకి కొంచెము సో హెల్త్ వైజ్ గా మనం అవన్నీ కొంచెం పక్కకు పోతాయి అని చెప్పి బాగా చెప్పారమ్మా. ఎక్సలెంట్.
Also, Guru Garu, the raw food has more prana in it, right? I mean, it has more prana shakti in it than when it is cooked and consumed.
Right.
Yeah. లక్ష్మి గారు మీరు హ్యాండ్ రైస్ చేశారండి, మీకు ఏమైనా క్వశ్చన్ ఉందా? ఇందాక రైస్ చేసండి. ఓకే, ఐ థింక్ వి ఆర్ గుడ్ గురు గారు.
యా గుడ్ అమ్మా. సో మనకి టైం అయింది కాబట్టి సో చాలా సంతోషం అండి. సో రావు గారు ఉన్నారా?
లేదు గురు గారు, రావు గారు డ్రాప్ అయ్యారు.
సో ఆల్ ది పార్టిసిపెంట్స్, so we are very happy to see you all like this and getting together, so sharing the information what so we have so based on Ramayanam and Sanatana Dharma. So plan once in a month, so like this we have every month one second Saturday, so this Kalpavriksham, some guest speakers are going to come and they are going to share so what is the about the unknown things what we don't know. So please plan for that and make our kids to be part of this discourses. so that they also will know about our Sanatana Dharma. So wait for the next message and the next guest speaker who is going to be part of this. And so let us conclude today's Kalpavriksham. Om Pratipraja Paripalagantam Yagena Margena Mahim Mahishaham Gobrahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Lokas Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu Tamattan Mangalani Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Shri Ram.
జై శ్రీరామ్ గురు
జై శ్రీరామ్.
Jai Shri Ram Guru Garu.
జై శ్రీరామ్ గురు గారు
జై శ్రీరామ్
జై శ్రీరామ్ గురువు గారు.
జై శ్రీరామ్ గురు గారు
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి క్లోజ్ చేసేస్తున్నాను.